Okay, y'all. So I'm just coming up here today because the other day I was getting intuitive nudges to talk about suicide because I know it's holiday season and I know a lot of people go through dark moments and dark times during this time of season. But like most people do, we tend to talk ourselves out of our intuitive nudges either because A, we don't feel like it, there's other stuff to do, we're afraid of using our voice and speaking. So screw all of that because today I just saw a post that Twitch, the DJ on the Ellen DeGeneres show, I personally know him from So You Think He Can Dance because I was a big dancer and I loved watching him dance. So I just recently found out that he passed away at 40 years old, and he was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Like, this dude was supposed to be like happy. He married a dancer who was supposed, and they did like TikToks and stuff together. They had 3 kids, and he went to a hotel to kill himself with a gunshot wound, self-inflicted gunshot wound. So that just further sorry, I'm just at a loss of words right now because it just blew my mind. Because just the other day I was thinking about how so many people can have these amazingly, seemingly perfect lives, but deep down inside they are dealing with things that they keep secret, with mental things that go on in their bodies or in their minds, and they suppress it or they compartmentalize it, thinking like, oh, like my life is perfect, so there's nothing I should worry about. And so they just like suppress or try to compartmentalize these thoughts. But ultimately people allow these thoughts to get the best of them, and suicide comes. And so I was thinking, like, yes, some people may need to take medication for suicidal thoughts, but long term it's not going to help, because one of the functional medicine practitioners that I look up to, Brendan Viermeer, I butchered his name, but that's his name, you can read it down below. But anyway, he did all the exercise, and for a long time he was taking depression medication, and he ended up having ADD or ADHD or whichever. But he ultimately, not ultimately, but he too tried to commit suicide, and off of his depression medication, and he ended up failing, and so that he was ended up in the hospital trying to get his stomach pumped, and I think he was like in a self-induced coma, a medically induced coma, for at least 4 days off of this suicide. And fast forward to now, he is the guy that created the mental map, which is it's not really a blood test, but it's a test that you do that I offer in my Maximize Your Living Potential coaching program, that will help you figure out the chemical imbalances that are going on, so you can get a good picture about what is causing your mental health issues, and more specifically like the microglial activation, because there's cells in your brain that can either repair your brain structure or help deteriorate it, and it can contribute to neuroinflammation. And so ultimately we know that anxiety, depression, and a lot of other mental health and chronic conditions are a result of inflammation, and mental health issues are a result of neuroinflammation. So it just amazed me how this guy, Brendan Vermeer, failed his suicide attempt. And he's not a doctor. His background is in exercise and nutrition, like mine, and so that's another reason why I look up to him. So like, yo, like this dude, and he now goes around the world and teaches other practitioners and other people how to heal people's mental health issues, taking a metabolic health approach by using the science of nutrition and using exercise, which is what my coaching program does. And it's, I don't know, I was just kind of amazed because this is something that I learned about him after I created my wellness business and after I created my Stress Alchemy course. And so just to know that something that I did my own research on and something that I studied was something that I was spot on with. It's just pretty amazing. But yeah, I just said they all. Anywho, I'm going on a tangent. But when it comes to suicide, do not depend on medication to get to the root cause of the issues, because once you get off that medication, it's going to come back. It's best to look at your body as a whole. And if you're not doing, and honestly, like, your life is so valuable. Just to think that if this Brendan Vermeer, if he succeeded in his suicide, all the people that he would not have been able to help overcome anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, and all these other mental health conditions. So his suicide failure was a success in saving other people's lives as a result. And if you're interested in getting a mental map, you can go to thestewproject.com and reach out to me in the contact section and say, hey, I want to get a mental map. If you want to work with me in my Maximize Your Living Potential coaching program, let me know, because your life is so much more valuable when you are fully happy and healthy and whole, and you're not just focusing on the positive to make up for the negative. Because obviously, from what happened to Twitch, that's not really the way to live. There's so many successful people who had the fame, who had the fortune, who had the love and the appreciation, whose families loved them, or it seemed like that they had everything that anyone could want in the world, and they still lived in darkness. They still lived in sadness, and they just painted on a face. Like, you don't have to paint on a face. And I know that there was a time where I used to be that way, but I had to realize, like, yo, I'm not happy. I'm seriously not happy. And you have to, like, go through the list of inventory in your life and figure out what it is. And sometimes it could be a chemical imbalance. Sometimes it can be a spiritual imbalance. Like, you never know until you just do the work. And sometimes therapy does not help, because when you just go through and start talking about all the crap that happened in your life, it's like, yo, I don't feel better. Talking about the past does not help me feel better. Like, I need to focus on what makes me feel better now. And so that's the thing about mental health coaching. Like, we don't dig up the past. We focus on what can move you forward. Like, we may touch on the past to help you move forward, but we don't stay in the past. Like, we focus on helping you move forward. And, you know, if you feel like you need therapy, by all means, go and do it. But there are other options, and the Stew Project can help you find those other options that'll work for you. So I hope this helps, and please take care of yourselves. Please put your health and happiness first, and seek that above all means, before your job, before other people's expectations of you. Because if you're not happy, anything else that you achieve in life is not going to be fulfilling. So I hope this helps. Happy Wednesday.